What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about UUUU today. We're going to talk about 4U's Energy Fuels Incorporated at the request of KBD Net. Energyfuels.com. If you want to read about them, they got their little website here. Seems interesting. I did a brief read on it. Just kind of curious, but I like uranium stocks, you guys. I told you KBD Net that you'd get your own video, and I meant it because uranium, whenever it comes to commodities, I feel like a lot of people don't talk about uranium, and maybe they do. I don't know, maybe just not in my circles. But gold and silver is a very big deal whenever it comes to commodities, even copper or aluminum, right? But I do believe that uranium has a place. It should be talked about because as far as usage, it's only going to increase. We're only going to see more nuclear power. We're only going to see more things as far as usage with uranium goes. We're not on the decrease with this, right? This is the next step in the evolution of energy consumption. Is this kind of is stuff like this, right? So I think that there's a place for this. I think that this definitely has longevity and will grow over time. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. You never know what can happen. But hold on one second. But I do believe that it's got longevity and it will grow over time. Now, speaking of time, it's been a long time, man. It's been since 2021. You've been consolidating, very, very much so consolidating. You're slowly sloping down like this. You're finding a lot of volume and you're moving down, but you're not really, for the amount of volume you're getting, you're not really moving down too much with the purpose. You're basically still here at these lows, right? You ate it back up. In 1 month, you have a bullish engulfing candle. That's what this is called whenever the entirety of the body essentially just engulfs the candle there, right? That's a bullish engulfing candle, and it's a very, very powerful signal. Um, Whenever we're looking at the RSI here, you are getting below the 40, but oh so briefly. You're not living below it. You're not seeing sustained readings below it. You're just rejecting it, really. You're getting overbought and you're finding support down here. This is actually really bullish. I think that it is a really bullish thing. I don't like the way that you're sloped down, but I think this can change in a very short amount of time. From a high to a low, you've gone just below your 382, only to come back above it. This is good. This is really, really good stuff. If you continue to close, if this month you were going to close below the 382, I'd be a little bit more worried. But what it looks like you're doing here on a closing basis, at least, is you're finding support, at prior resistance here, kind of in this area of support here, right? But it's good. It looks really good. I don't mind this at all. And I think that you are going to continue moving higher. If we want to confirm that this low here, the low at $3.20, you want to confirm that as a low, and you want to confirm the idea that we are breaking above this high here, we have to move up a little bit higher, up to about $6.05. You need to get maybe a monthly close would be nice, but I think a weekly close, a couple of weeks closing above here would be enough to validate that. Okay, $6.05, that's the goal. Get there. Bullish engulfing candle. I think this means you're going to grow for the months to come, and I actually see uranium on the up and up. I think uranium is going to do well. Not always, but you see gold moving up at times, and then whenever it chills, whenever it comes down, you'll see silver, uranium, other commodities start to come up as well. But yeah, I like the structure of this. I think that you're finding support at a good area. RSI looks good. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's look at the weekly time frame. So weekly time frame here, the RSI, again, just reluctant, very reluctant to get oversold. Very volatile, very neutral, but reluctant to be oversold. And I like to see that, right? I will say it looks to me as though you spent most of your time underneath the 50, which that's not necessarily ideal. That does promote more bearish circumstances, but obviously we've had more bearish circumstances by moving down. So that's just kind of how it is. Even in your weakest times, though, even in your weakest times in 4 years, less than 4 years, you're repulsed by the oversold zone, right? You have no problem getting deeper into the overbought zone, but you're repulsed by the oversold zone. So I think this is a sign of strength. Even in your weakest moments, you can't really show true weakness, and that's a very powerful move up right there. That's a very powerful bounce right there. So I think you're getting ready to move higher overall. If we're looking at this relative fib here from a high to a low, again, $6.05 is a big deal to close above, but relatively speaking, I think if we're looking at this just for what it is, you're bouncing off your 382 prior areas of resistance and support. You're probably working your way higher over the coming weeks. It wouldn't surprise me if sometime in May, maybe by the end of May, if not earlier in May, you'll be at about $5.40, $5.74. It could be as early as next week. You never know. I mean, this thing's moving with the purpose right now. I think that you will continue moving higher. If you move lower, and I don't think that you do, but if you do, I believe $3.91 would hold as support, the 236 there. Maybe you wick a little bit below it, whatever, but it would hold as support. And then you continue to move up to your golden ratio. Okay, this is your next stopping point, and it really wouldn't, oftentimes with this, if you break above your 0.5, I always call for you to find resistance on the first attempt at the golden ratio, always, because most of the time that's the case. But in the moments where you get above the 0.5 on your first attempt and you pull back, you find support at your 382, these are the moments where you actually rip through the golden ratio on your first attempt. And you could move all the way up to about 622 to 676 over the coming weeks. I think this is a very suitable target for the end of May, if not sometime in June. And again, that's a vital area because getting above $6.05, which you would with the 786 that's at 624, getting above there on a multi-weekly basis would validate the idea that we are growing from this area, this was a fake out to the downside and we are going to break out to the upside. So I think over time, especially with the given structure, I think over time you will grow. The rest of by the end of this year, it really wouldn't surprise me if you were at new relative highs. And then over the years to come, I would think that you continue to grow as well. Let's look at this from an all-time historical perspective. From that high to low there. Finding support at the 382, man. I don't know what to tell you. I think it looks good. I think it does look good. We'll see where you go. Let's see. If I had to guess where you're going to go by the end of this move. This is long-term stuff, guys. Like, this is what I'm talking about now might take more than, it probably does take more than a year to accomplish. But maybe not. You never know. I mean, this thing, when it moves up, it can move up fast. It can definitely move up fast. And you have been accumulating, consolidating, maybe distributing. We don't know yet until we get above $6.05. It's technically not confirmed. But if we have been accumulating all this time, and I think we have, $16, $25, those are the immediate areas to discuss. Certainly $57, $88 prices as high as that could be on the table as well, but over the coming years, right? So I do expect from here, the primary targets to think about whenever you're thinking about like a year and a half out might be something around $16 to $25. Timing is not the easiest thing to get with this stuff, but I do believe you continue to grow. I very much do believe you continue to grow. I like where you are on the 2-month RSI here. Bouncing right off the 40. It's a beautiful thing. RSI looks bullish as hell. I like the monthly RSI too, right? Bouncing off the 40 areas as well. It wouldn't surprise me if by the end of this year we were at new highs relative to this, and sometime early next year we were up in this area. But again, it's too hard to say. I mean, you could, in a matter of 6 months, be up at this area. You know, this thing moves very fast whenever it wants to, but I think we're still figuring ourselves out, so I would expect volatility along the way. I expect, just like here, a little bit of volatility. Wouldn't surprise me if you found some volatility at about $6, $6.10, key area, right? Come back down, find support at this resistance point, continue to move up, right? It's not just going to be a straight shot. There will be volatility along the way, but I've got nothing else to say. I think I've said everything else that I need to say. Whenever it comes to next week, whenever it comes to the price, I would expect that you move up higher. But in case I'm wrong, if you do move down, don't worry about it. You could go down to 390, 370, 380, and you're still fine. So, but that's not my expectation. I'm just saying that in case it happens, okay? I've got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.